Welcome to Retrologic. I'm Dan Caparello here with John Cummins, and this week we do not have special guest Adam, aka Adrock. Unfortunately, we are going through a very severe winter storm here in Texas, and his power is out. So he is safe, he is fine, he's all right. I talked to him, but he is not able to make it to the podcast tonight, and that's very sad. But you do get to hear the sultry tones of my friend John Cummins. How are you today, John? What is going on with you?
I'm good. We're also in the middle of the same storm that's freezing like half of the U.S., I think.
Crazy.
Snow everywhere and bitter cold, below zero temperatures.
Yeah, I bet you're glad you're not in that garage anymore.
Yeah. No, that would have been really bad. Definitely glad I got moved back into the basement. But. For
sure. Yeah, I wish I had a basement. I don't. I'm basementless out here. So I'm back in the garage. Not too bad. It's about 45 degrees in here. So we're going to make sure that this episode goes expeditiously. Speaking of the podcast, Retrologic isn't just a podcast. It's also a retro game store. You can visit Retrologic.games to check our growing inventory of cleaned, tested, and 100% authentic retro games. So that's out of the way. John, what did you buy this week?
Too many things.
It's been a PSP spree for you lately.
Yeah, I've got to catch up, man. And PSP games are cheap. Like, I don't think hardly any of the ones that I've bought have cost me more than maybe $15, like complete. So I can't hardly do that with anything else. So I bought Final Fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. They're just, for whatever reason, they don't hold their value all that great, which is fine with me because I'm buying them to play.
Yeah, right.
So I've just been buying them up. I got Final Fantasy 4 on the PSP, which is nice because it's the complete edition. So it has the additional content that was only available in Japan for quite a while. Which, this is from
4, which was 2 in the...
No, this would have been 4 as in 4. Well, it would have been 2 on Super Nintendo, yes.
2 on Super Nintendo, that's what I'm wondering. Okay, cool.
Yes, yep. So there was a additional content to that game. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the PSP version has the original game and the extra content. So I figured I'd pick it up. I think it cost me like $16, $15.
That's pretty cool. There. Yeah. Oh, that's expensive for a PSP game.
Yeah. That was one of the most expensive ones I've bought. I think the one that I have, I think it's like Jan d'Arc is the name of it. That's probably the most expensive game I own, but I only paid $6 for it at a flea market. So
what's the value?
I think it's like a $30 complete game.
Oh, cool.
It's also supposed to be a fantastic RPG, but I haven't got to play it yet. And I also picked up Ape Escape Academy for the PSP, which is like a collection of mini games that's based in the Ape Escape universe.
I love me some Ape Escape.
Yes.
I gotta find that game.
That's one of the things I've been trying to resist purchasing for the PlayStation 3 so that I could transfer it over the PS1 version.
Yeah. How much is it on there? $9.99?
I think it's like $5.99. Most of the PS1 classic things, minus like a handful of like Mega Man Legends and things like that.
I mean,
yeah,
and unfortunately, Ape Escape is one of those PlayStation and PS2 games that are pretty up there, like $40, $45. So it might be worth it.
Yeah, I'll get them eventually. I've got a wish list on PlayStation Network for like 30 games that I'll probably just start picking one every once in a while and buying it for $5.
You got to get Ape Escape on. You got to get Ape. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I need to complete all the PS1 classic games because I never had a PlayStation, so I missed out on a lot of these.
Yeah. Well, you definitely got to get Ape Escape on the loose. Ape Escape on the Loose is the other PSP game, and I think it's more of a traditional one.
Yeah, I've been looking at it too. I think I can get a copy complete for like $8.
It's so cheap too. Yeah, crazy. I'm amazed at how cheap PSP games are. I don't understand it.
Yeah, another one too I've been kind of shopping for that's been on the higher side is Crisis Core, Final Fantasy 7 for PSP.
Final Fantasy 7, yeah.
And I snagged one off of eBay for $15. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I found one that went to the last minute, and the other bidder just dropped off completely, and I just got it for $15. So can't complain there.
That's great. That's like a $25, $30 game.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, they usually go somewhere around in there, and just got lucky. Every once in a while on eBay, I do get lucky, but a lot of times I usually end up doing a buy it now.
Yeah.
I bought Innocent Life for the PSP, which is a Harvest Moon game. I think it's the only Harvest Moon game on the PSP. I may be wrong. I'm not sure. It's the only one I really remember. I think it was also on other consoles, maybe PlayStation 2.
At some point in that generation, there were just tons of them. So many Harvest Moon games.
Yeah, I think, though, at that point in time, they were kind of staying on consoles. You had, like, Friends of Mineral Town on Game Boy Advance, and I think that was the only one that came to Game Boy Advance. So I think it was kind of like a time where they were kind of slowing down a little bit. It was also getting close to the time where they were switching out, like, the whole changeover of deals where Natsume wasn't going to be licensing those games anymore.
Oh, right.
And they went through a story of seasons. They're marvelous.
Wonderful Life, and there was the other one on PS2. Save the Homeland, I think, something like that.
Save the Homeland. Yep.
Yeah, something like that. So there was those two. So I don't know.
Yeah, PSP. And then there for a while they split off. This Innocent Life is like a futuristic Harvest Moon, which they also did with Rune Factory is like a spin-off where it's Harvest Moon, but it has combat.
Right.
And it's sort of like Stardew Valley. But yeah, there's just some different spin-off things. But this was another one that I got dirt cheap that I've been looking at. And then I got two somewhat new games. Life is Strange for the PS4. John Blanco's always talking about this one, so I finally decided
that's one of his favorites.
Jump in and pick it up, try it out. And then, of course, I got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for the Switch.
Good.
And I already played all the way through Bowser's Fury.
Yeah,
it took me
I heard
about
it has
5.5 hours to knock that one out.
Not a very long experience, that one.
No, but man, it's a blast. Like,
awesome.
It really just made me want a full length, like a good 25 hour Mario game in that same style. The cat world is pretty cool. And really the only other thing I played, since I just talked about Bowser's Fury, was played some Mortal Kombat 3 on the arcade cabinet while I'm still debugging and working everything out. It's one that I always go back to because I played so much of it as a kid.
Specifically 3?
I haven't really had... Yeah, 3 was the one that I played the most of. I played some 2. I didn't play any of the first game. I was kind of too young for... we were too young for the first game. Because that was like 90, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, no. Well, yeah, probably 91, 91, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I would have been like 5 or 6. I wouldn't be playing Mortal Kombat. So I played a little bit of 2, caught the tail end of 2, and then 3 is when I had some buddies that we played a lot of 3 and 3 Ultimate. So that's one that's kind of a comfort fighting game for me whenever I fired up the arcade. It's the first one I go to. I also know all the button layouts for, high punch, low punch, and everything, so it helps me configure everything.
So you already know, right? That helps, I bet, because you already know like what each button's supposed to do, so you can just kind of go in and like, oh, that's that. That's
yeah,
this.
I got my replacement button in over the weekend and got it replaced. So and it works.
Cool. You're trucking right along with that thing.
Because I was hoping it wasn't the USB controller for the whole control panel.
Yeah,
because that would have sucked. But it was just the one button. Swapped it out and fired right up. So
awesome.
I'll be moving on to getting you some artwork going here
yes,
soon.
Let's do it, man. I'm so excited. And then I got to get those pictures somehow. I got to go get some professional pictures done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come out and do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a pretty decent camera. I could probably take some pictures. I don't know how good I'm not a professional photographer, but I got a good camera.
But the only tip I have is it's all about lighting. It's 100% about lighting.
Yeah.
Well, so just
in my basement, I have none of that. I have 2 blown out light bulbs out of 3. So, and they're it's like,
oh, good. I think we're set up for success then.
It's one of those ceiling fans, and the light bulbs are the tiny ones. It's like the ones you only would buy for that.
Sure.
For that
you like
fixture,
have to go to a hardware store to find them anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I don't have any. They're not normal like 40-watt light bulb size. The regular size. So when those burn out, I always get down to the last one, and then I finally go shopping and buy like a 6-pack or whatever of light bulbs.
Hilarious. Yeah, I did a bit of work on the lighting in here. Just to try to get it to a place where I could stream well and like it looked cool or whatever. And it's a nice place to hang out in. So invest in lighting. I am a lighting fan.
It's a good tip.
So I had a few pickups this week. Some are, they were great. I went to my local retro shop to pick up a second Sega Genesis controller. I ended up also getting a second Dreamcast controller and custom Robo for the GameCube, which is
amazing.
It's like a $50. I mean, every GameCube game now is like crazy expensive, but yeah, custom Robo was not very expensive for a while. It was like a $20 game, kind of a throwaway title. But
it's good though.
Things started going up and up and up. It's really good.
Yeah,
it's probably my favorite
Robo.
arena fighter like of all time. It's so good just to be able to do it. And they came out with I think it was a DS version too, Custom Robo Arena. Didn't hit me as hard. I don't know what they changed about it. Story was different or something. But when the GameCube like prime years, when I was playing like tons of GameCube, it was Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Metroid Prime, Custom Robo, and Gotcha Force. Those were my 4 games. And then friends would come over and we'd play Smash, but I liked Smash a lot, but it wasn't like, it didn't grab me super hard. Like I love Smash as a Nintendo fan, but I'm not a crazy fan of it or anything.
Oh man.
I'm usually into the quirky stuff anyway, but those were my games. And so it's great to have Custom Robo back. I got it for only $34, which is expensive for really any game. Retro game, but for Custom Robo it seemed worth it. It's a pretty expensive title. It was complete, it looked great, it plays well, so
you bought it for less than it retailed for, so
yeah,
you win.
So I feel good about that. Yeah.
Sometimes that's how you have to look at it whenever you're collecting.
Yeah, exactly. How much of a discount did I get?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you were to buy every game that you owned at when it came out, you would definitely have spent a lot more in your collection than even if you had to give $40 for it. That's how I justify some things sometimes.
For sure. And it just depends on how flush I am at the time. So
yeah.
So it was I had a lot of weddings in January, so we did pretty well. So I felt good about investing a little bit in myself. Also picked up, like, for some reason, well, I'll tell you the reason. So this guy in Mercari had a Sega Mastersystem, 2 NES style controllers, one of the big joystick controllers, and like I think it was like 10 games, 12 games, something like that. And he had it up for $120. And it was a pretty recent post, so I hit it pretty early. Like sometimes I will just hit buy on stuff just to make sure that I snag it, and then I'll go back and look and see what I actually got. And in his description, he's like, I can't get the games to read in the system. It's been sitting in my garage, whatever. So I was like, okay, I feel like if it powers on, most of the time, it's not a far stretch to get something to read a game, especially a cartridge-based system.
Yeah, probably just needs to be cleaned, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same experience with my current Super Nintendo, which I got at a retro shop for $5 because it was defective. And I took it apart, took the contacts off, cleaned the contacts, put it all back together, and it works just fine now. So it's like, you just never know with that stuff. You know, if you can get it for cheap enough to make it worth it, you know, then fine. The games themselves made it worth it for me. So it was a pretty easy purchase, but I'm really excited to get it in and try it all out. I'm going to try to stream some of it, so that's super fun. I did a whole stream when I was testing out all those Dreamcast games. I'm going to do the same thing with this Master System.
Sometimes
I just need more time to stream.
Don't know, you know?
Well, it's, yeah, probably. And
I mean, it's kind of like the PSP that I got. The guy couldn't get it to read a disc, and all it was a bent bracket.
Yeah, you know, but like, you can't count on that stuff all the time. You just get lucky sometimes.
Yeah, you get lucky.
Yeah, I don't want to go buy up a bunch of broken stuff.
Oh, no, I was fully expecting to have to, fully replace things in there to get it to work. I just got super lucky. But even
so, like, the price needs to be worth it. Like, are the accessories and the things that come with it worth it for the purchase anyway? So, but I'm really hype about it. I can't wait to get it in. Also picked up General Chaos on the Sega Genesis, one of my favorite childhood Sega Genesis games. Gonna play that on stream with my brother at some point in the future when this snow goes away. I unboxed the Celebration Samus action figure that I got. Unboxed it. I got a morph ball as my mystery item, and I literally could not be happier about that right now. Super, super glad of that. I got a random box of cables and controllers for the store. Sometimes you just do that. And it was really hilarious to open and see just the wide array of random stuff in this box. Just like a Super Nintendo power cord and a controller. And then it looks like a brand new Wii nunchuck, a PlayStation controller. There is like a ton of PlayStation AV cables for some reason, like a bunch of them. So some of mostly all of it's going to go up in the store if it works. Or be part of I'll buy a PlayStation without an AV cord and then I'll add my own AV cord to it or whatever. I just thought it was funny because it was hilarious to open the box and be like, okay, what did I get? Okay, it's Christmas now. And it was pretty cheap, so it was funny. So this week, I have the same buddy come over every once in a while and we'll do retro games. And this week we did 2-player Dreamcast stuff. So we did a couple rounds of Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 2. We did... so we played some Power Stone. And I don't know how, right off the bat, he was just kicking my butt. And I forgot that... I forgot how absolutely frantic Power Stone can be. Just how insane that game is.
It's very fast paced.
Oh man. It's weirdly also slow paced because your character doesn't move very quickly. There's just a lot of attacks that can all happen at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and collecting all the gems and everything and knowing who has the gems and who to attack. And 4-player Power Stone 2 is total chaos. But it's super fun. It's like Smash Brothers chaos. Probably one of my favorite multiplayer experiences of all time. And I can't wait for when COVID is in the past and I can have 4 friends over to actually play it the way it's intended. We also did, so I played some Crazy Taxi 2 with my friend. And I don't know how many of you out there have played Crazy Taxi 2. It was only released on the Dreamcast. And it's got these like mini games, and one of them is you have to like make these very narrow jumps over these walls and to get a perfect time to the end. And we probably sat there and did that for like an hour, just back and forth. And it was so fun. And I had just this feeling of like elementary school, like you and your friend trying to play a one-player game together, and you're passing it back and forth and trying to get a high score. And we were laughing about when we screwed up and all that. And it just makes me miss having friends over playing video games, because I used to do it on a monthly basis. I would have all my friends over. We'd play retro games all night. And haven't been able to do it in over a year, and I miss it, and it sucks. So, not to be a downer, but it does suck.
Yep.
So we're going to bring ourselves back up. Yeah, did you want to say something?
I was going to say, I haven't really had a chance to play any local games either. I mean, there for a while I was trying to go to at least a handful of the Smash Brothers tournaments and stuff we had locally, and I can't do that anymore. This whole thing's kind of sucks.
I'm hoping things get better. Seems like they are. But
All right.
Let's play some Price is Retro to bring ourselves back up. How about that? So if this is your first time playing Price is Retro, I'm going to go over the rules really quick. I'm gonna list off some games, 3 to 5 games, and I'm going to give you the name of the game, the condition, the console it was on, and you have to guess what the total price of those 4 to 5 games are. This is called the Price is Retro, and we love doing it. And if you want to submit to us a list of games to guess the price on, it's super fun to do and easy. If you follow me on Twitter at Retrologic.games, you can just send me a DM, or if you're in the Discord, you can also shoot me a DM. If you want to join the Discord and you're on Twitter, you can just go to my bio right there and click the link and you're in. That's all that it requires, and it's really great. We are small, but we are active and we are growing, and we have something fun every single day going on in that Discord. So, John, it's just you and me this week, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my list.
Okay.
We have been doing the themes, and I am keeping that up because I think it's fun. We're going to start with Alien Syndrome for the Sega Master System, complete in box. Then we have Alien Syndrome for the Wii, complete in box. Alien vs. Predator, loose for the Jaguar.
Here it comes.
And Alien Hominid for the GameCube, complete in box. So those are your games.
All right, let me do some quick math in my head.
There was quite a plethora of thing there to guess on. And hope you liked my theme, my alien theme.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Let's say, and I'm probably way off because I don't know too many of these price-wise. Let's do $225.
$225, okay. So the price for the total lot for Alien Syndrome on the Master System, Alien Syndrome on the Wii, Alien vs. Predator for the Jaguar, and Alien Hominid for the GameCube is $125.
Oh, jeez, I was way off. Yeah.
2 of these are very, very cheap.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't blame you for that.
The Jaguar is the wild card. You never know how much. Those are like Saturn and Sega CD games that, you never know how they're going to be priced.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
All right, man. And that's not one that like you would look up very often either, so.
Well, no, I don't have a Jaguar, so.
All right, hit me with your best shot.
All right, so I also have a little bit of a themed lot. And my first game is Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition Loose for the Game Boy Advance. Second game is Mortal Kombat Trilogy Complete for the Sega Saturn. The third game is Mortal Kombat 4 Loose for the N64.
Mortal Kombat 4?
And the last game, yes, Mortal Kombat 4 Loose.
Okay.
N64. Fourth game, Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero Loose for the N64.
All right. That's great. Okay. So let's see what we got here for you. I'm going to say $130.
All right. The total value of my lot is $270.
I went wrong somewhere. Probably that Saturn game.
Probably. That one was a lot higher than I was expecting.
Yeah. Dang. Because I nailed the other three, I think.
I thought I'd throw those ones in there, or that one in there, because the N64 one isn't quite as valuable.
Yeah.
And there wasn't, I don't know anybody that had it for the Sega Saturn. Like I
don't know anybody that had a Sega Saturn, so...
PlayStation or N64, yeah. Well, I had a few friends that had Saturns, but I don't remember them having this game.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. You can go through your list first, and we'll track down through the prices.
Okay. So, Alien Syndrome for the Sega Master System, complete in box, is $16. Alien Syndrome for the Wii, complete in box, is $7 whole. Alien vs., which is a shame, crying shame, by the way, because that is an awesome 4-player co-op adventure game. A top-down shooter. So good. Alien vs. Predator for the Jaguar is $55. And Alien Hominid for the GameCube is $47.
Yeah. I definitely overshot on every one of those.
I thought Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar was way more expensive than it turned out to be. I thought it was like a $200 game. Because it is...
I was thinking at least $100.
Well, it's considered to be basically the only good Atari Jaguar game as far as I know.
That's why I was thinking it would be valuable.
That's funny.
All right, so my list
Here we go.
is Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition Loose for the Game Boy Advance. It's $51.
Oh, I missed that one. Dang.
Yeah, so
Shoot.
Mortal Kombat Trilogy Complete for the Sega Saturn is $179.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's quite the price for a Mortal Kombat game that, these things sold bukus for back in the time they came out usually.
Yeah, dang,
so they're
man.
kind of everywhere.
I mean, I guess $75, and I thought that was high. So I'm like, woo.
So the next game is Mortal Kombat 4 Loose for the N64. This is a $22 game, so
Yeah, I knew that one.
that's a little more than I would pay for that game, but
Yeah.
and then Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero Loose for the N64 is $18.
Yeah. I was pretty much dead on those last two, but
Yeah, those N64 games are not very valuable.
Yeesh. Saturn games. What
Yeah.
the heck?
Saturn games, man. If you ever want to throw somebody off the game, you throw a Saturn game in there because
Yeah, for sure.
they're usually pretty high dollar.
I'm going to have to start
Alright,
just
so-
studying Saturn prices and stuff. They just don't come
I know.
up, They just don't come up.
So the winner of tonight's Prices Retro is me.
Yeah.
Total difference of $100, and your total difference was $140.
Yeah. Not too far off, but dang, man.
No, we were close.
The Saturn games. Shoot.
It's funny because I kind of went under or over yours, and you went way under on mine.
Yeah, I know. That is funny. I knew I had a low lot this week, so I was wondering how that was going to go because we've been pretty pricey lately.
Yeah. Well, that's
Playing
kind of
the meta game.
Usually, I've been kind of hitting around that area. So, I mean, I almost guessed it on the money last time, or the time before,
Crazy.
one or the other.
Yep, got to mix it up. Can't get too comfortable.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. Well, we have a few weekly topics to talk about this week. First, we're going to jump into our crossplay games. Did you get any time with Pokemon Snap this week, John? You said you didn't really get much gaming time in, huh?
Yeah, I played just the next level past the beach. Which
is the cave, I think?
Yeah, I think it's the cave tunnel.
Tunnel, okay.
And yeah, it's the tunnel. And I like this one a little bit more because there was a lot more Pokemon available right off the bat and a lot less things you had to do to ease them out.
I think there's a lot more hidden stuff in the tunnel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the beach is just kind of a walkthrough or a tutorial to the game, so there's not a whole lot going on. But yeah, right off the bat, I remembered from I have the issue from Nintendo Power that covers this, and there's a picture in there of the Pikachu on the Voltorb, and
nice.
That's from this level. So
yeah,
I had to look up how to get him to show up because I played through it the one time and there's just a Pikachu, and you have to snap the picture of the Pikachu and then like he walks back a little bit, you snap another one, he keeps walking back, and eventually he gets up on the Voltorb and then he rolls it into a wall and it explodes.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's a high dollar. That's a high dollar photo too. If you get that explosion.
Yeah, that's the special photo. There's like a certain special photo for each level. Man, this game is just so much charm to it. It makes me really eager to get the new game when it comes out.
Yeah, big time. Charm is such a good word for it too, because it's not the most technically like extravagant game. It's not the hardest game in the world, but it just feels good to play,
Yeah, it's fun. And of course, being that when you're a kid and you have all the time in the world to play this game, you would just sit and tool around until you figured out all these, different ways to create photo opportunities. But I was like, man, I only have a limited amount of time and I want to see what the best, how to unlock these secret photos. So I was like, well, I'll play it through once and see what I get. And then after that, I'll look some up and see how to get them.
Oh yeah. And eventually you have to play through the other levels again because you unlock other power-ups and other like the
different things that interact with the level to get you different photos and stuff.
And then I think later you can speed up and slow down your car, so it like changes when and how you see things. So there's actually a lot of variation in your run. And then you need to get a certain like level or a certain number of points to get to the next level eventually. So it's not just a straight run through. You have to replay levels again. But I never minded doing that. I always loved jumping in.
No, and they don't take very long. So I mean, it's not a foot race to get through it. You're just leisurely go through and take as many good pictures as you can.
For sure.
It's definitely been relaxing.
In contrast to Pokemon Snap, I think I hate Castlevania now. I think that you have succeeded in making me just despise this poor game, and not for any. It is a very good looking game for the NES. The soundtrack is banging. I can't like wrap my head around the like enemy design and like it is like the by design I mean like how they move and like what you're even supposed to do in certain scenarios. It's like they just kind of sometimes you just die, and that always feels really unfair.
Lots of cheap deaths in Castlevania.
Yeah. And I know that it was designed as an arcade game, so like they're trying to get you to pump quarters in. Like I get the motivation behind it. Still feels bad. So that's like the first thing I'll say is that, and I don't actually hate this game. I think that it is the beginning of something wonderful. That being said, There is a great deal of satisfaction in getting past like a section or getting past a boss, or finally figuring out like the boss's pattern or hack per se. You know, like I fought the two mummies. I fought the two mummies tonight, and they're super annoying because you start in between them, and you're like, okay, what the heck do I do? You know, so eventually what I figured out is you have to take a hit and then like kind of corner them so that they're on one side in a corner and you're on the other side, because your whip will negate their projectile and hit them. So you just kind of spam the whip once they're in that corner. But getting them to that position took quite a few tries. I mean, it is very difficult. And then same thing with Frankenstein and jumping Monkey Jerk, who I hate any of the jumping monkey ghoul guys in this game. They can all just get a one-way ticket straight to hell. Back where they came from.
It's so hard to time the attacks on the jumping enemies.
They're so bad, man. They're worse than the Medusa heads, because at least the Medusa heads have a pattern. But these guys are just like, oh, I'm just going to jump here and then maybe jump, then just crawl on the floor really fast and run faster than you and then jump over you. Like, no idea what they're doing. Super frustrating.
It doesn't take much to run faster than Simon Belmont.
That is true, isn't it? I mean, jeez. So he has one of those and he shoots fireballs. And at some point I'm just like, okay, the chat was helping me out. I was streaming it tonight. Chat helped me out. Chat was like, okay, listen, don't fight the fire-breathing monkey. He will not die. Just kill Frankenstein. Like, okay. I had the holy water. Thank God I had the holy water. Because I would duck down, launch the holy water. Or no, I would launch holy water, duck down, and just hit him, because he starts in that back corner. And just keep hitting him, and just be like, hey, fireballs, whatever. Get back into position. Holy water, hit him, and I had like just enough health to kill him finally. Frankenstein is the last boss that I beat before I stopped. I just like, it's very satisfying to get through the bosses. Unfortunately, most of the game feels very unfair. Like totally unfair. Just like, man, like there's this, I after that boss, I got to this one segment where you're on a platform over water, and if you get in the water, you instantly die. And sometimes you're just on the platform and the swamp man just jumps out of the water and kills you instantly, like because you get knocked into the water. So you're like, okay, nothing I could have done about that. Just gonna start again. And I also started spamming the frickin' save points because there's no rewind on the Castlevania collection on Switch.
Yeah, I told you to save those holy waters. You were gonna need them later. Yeah.
You know who's been a huge help is in our Discord is Third Strongest Mole, Sam.
Oh yeah,
he's a big
Castlevania guy,
an expert at this game. He has told me to save my current holy water for this boss, which is the last boss before I fight Dracula. And boy, oh boy, am I in for some fun. I can't decide whether. Like, I don't hate this game. It's fine. This isn't the only game ever to have had cheap mechanics, especially for an arcade game. So it's not a terrible game. You know, I'm really not a fan of unfair enemies in games. Like, just at least give me the tools to defeat him, you know?
So you're playing a game from that time period, so it gets better as you go.
Okay. Well, I am looking forward to playing future iterations, especially 4, which I might start 4 after this one. Or I might just not and do a palate cleanser before I jump into another another Metroidvania. Great. So that's Crossplay. We are in the midst of it. I am streaming my Crossplay every Monday night. If you want to come watch me die a lot in Castlevania and laugh along with the chat, that is Retrologic.games on Twitch. let's go into a little bit of news here. Just one thing I really want to highlight, John. I don't know if you knew about this going on. I didn't until I saw a random tweet about it, and I was like, why don't more people know about this? Because it's amazing. So the people over at hitsave.org, which is a community of video game preservationists and archivists, they began archiving extremely high quality scans of every e-reader card in existence, of which there's over 3,000. Most of them were in Japanese booster packs of the 3,000. We only got a few of them over here, like the e-reader NES games and that kind of thing. And like the
Super
Eon
Mario
ticket.
Brothers 3.
Yeah, that kind of thing. They are doing a fundraiser right now to try to get some equipment to be able to handle the high-res scans and prints they want to do of the e-reader cards. They're also developing something really cool. So one of the problems with collecting e-reader cards is that you don't keep them out in the open. You put them in a plastic case or some kind of protective sleeve to be able to preserve them. Well, most of those cases prevent you from actually being able to scan your cards and use them, which for most collectors is the reason why you collect, is because you like using the things. So they're developing an e-reader case, like a shell, right? So you're going to take your e-reader apart and put it back together with this new shell that allows you to scan your e-reader card within its case. So you don't have to swipe it. It's like it just kind of goes over the scan and it scans it, which is really, really cool. So they're developing that. They're doing some really cool stuff for the preservation community. And you should support them. So you can go over to hitsave.org/blog/e-reader-fundraiser, or you could just go to hitsave.org and click around. I'm sure you'll find it. It's in their blog. They're only trying to raise $3,000, and they're already like a third of the way there. They just started. So I gave $5. If you want to give $1, if you want to give 50 cents, whatever, I'm sure they'd appreciate it. I just think it's a really, really cool and important preservation effort that they're doing, because paper especially will degrade extremely fast. So preserving these in a way that can be used in the future, to me, feels very, very important, and so I support them. So you guys should too.
Did you ever have an e-reader?
No.
But I didn't either.
I'm interested in it.
I don't think they were that big in the U.S.
No, they weren't really. I thought that the NES game stuff was cool, and like I saw it, but it, in Game Boy Advance days, I was buying my own games, and I just didn't have the kind of money. So
yeah, that one totally just flew over my head.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So there was a retro store around me that went out of business recently, and they were letting their stuff go for pretty cheap, and I got some stuff there, and they had some e-reader cards, booster packs unopened, and they were selling them, and I kind of regret not picking some up, because I'm sure that now they're like way more expensive, and but at the time I was trying to stick to stuff that I wanted to play, and the e-reader was not really on my radar. So I don't know, but with this project, I think that it's cool to be able to experience the content that was previously locked out, for free or whatever. Just get the e-reader and then print the cards and do your thing.
The Japanese cards work on the any e-reader.
The cards are region free, and the e-reader is region free, but the games that use them are not. So I'm not sure. I didn't read that much into what the Japanese cards are and do, but I know that the e-reader itself is region free.
Well, the game should be too, but you'd have to be able to read Japanese.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would just rather go to YouTube and have somebody experience that content for me and show me what's up with it, because I wouldn't know. It's just a cool piece of Nintendo history that would otherwise be easily lost since it's made of paper. So I wanted to highlight that here to my community and let you guys know that I think it is a worthy cause to support. Hitsave.org do great work, and they deserve to be blah, blah, blah. So we're going to take a quick break here. And then when we come back, we've got, we had a couple community questions, and we're going to talk about some Sonic the Hedgehog and Bing Bong Boop. See you in a few. Welcome back to the show. We are about to jump into our community content for this week, and I just want to remind everyone that we are in the middle of our Retro Rewind monthly book club style game event playing Sonic the Hedgehog. My recommendation is to play it on the Sega Genesis collection for the Switch because it has Rewind. And as John will attest to, Rewind is the way to play Sonic the Hedgehog because he is not playing with Rewind.
Yeah, better than save states.
Yeah.
I definitely picked the most obscure way to play Sonic the Hedgehog, but not the best.
On your PSP?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about that D-pad too. That's probably not super good for platformers.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It reminds me of the Switch D-pad. So,
like separated buttons and yeah.
Yes.
So we're doing that, and feel free to jump in. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog is a short game. It is a short romp, and you could beat it within the end of the month. I promise you can do it. I believe in you. Enjoy the music. Man, on the stream tonight when I was playing Sonic, we just jammed out to some Sonic music. We were just like, let's just listen to this because it's so good. It's worth it just for the music.
Yeah, the music's probably one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah. So jump in, do that, and then yeah. So I've put a query out to the community, and the community queried back. I've got 2 questions here from a couple members of our Discord, and I'm going to read them, and we're going to talk about them. So the first one comes to us from Eric Plunk, and he asks, what was everyone's favorite piece of video game memorabilia from their childhood? Mine would be between my Mario Bros. Lunchbox and a Super Mario Bros. 2 stamp and ink pad set. That's pretty cool. Stamp and ink pad set.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
No. But I would put Mario on everything if I had that. Everything would be Mario branded. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see.
Including
video game?
my hands and things, probably.
Yeah. So when I was like a kid, I don't think I had any memorabilia. When I was a teenager, though, and I could buy my own things, I kind of went crazy with the action figures. I mean, there was this one run of Sonic the Hedgehog action figures where they were kind of, big, like they were big and chunky. You know, they were tall, too. They were probably like 9 inches, 10 inches tall. And I had the complete set of those. I had Sonic and Knuckles and Tails, and I think that was it. Those 3. I had Legend of Zelda action figure with Epona. I had the Earthworm Jim set. I had tons of action figures. Where are they now, you ask? Hell if I know. Wish I had them. I have new action figures though, so I'm okay. But that's probably my love and my heart. Like a good action figure like really just does something to me in the inside that makes me feel happy. So that'll be it for me, I think. What about you, John?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you as far as not having a whole lot of any real memorabilia that I could think of that was pertained to video games. I just had the games themselves.
Right. Yeah. Like they weren't like an ingrained part of my life that I have to do, that I feel obligated to play now. Like I do today.
Yeah. I mean, I had alternate media like player's guides and things.
Yeah.
That, would probably be considered that nowadays. But like whenever a new Nintendo game came out, I liked buying the guide, not necessarily every time to use it, but a lot of times, like if you ever look at the Link to the Past Nintendo Power Players Guide, there's like tons of cool artwork and
same with Super Metroid.
Yeah, there's just and it's something that those guides kind of lost that character as they went on, but the early guides were like some of the best pre-game artwork went into those guides, like just neat
Some
stuff.
of that artwork was just custom. Like they had to put big pictures in to sell the artwork, to sell the guide, so they made it awesome. And then, rendering became not such a big deal, and so you just get key art, which is not as exciting. Like it's fine, but it is not as special for sure.
But yeah, so that's. I just don't think I had any real memorabilia, and I didn't get into. I still don't really do a whole lot of action figures. I mean, I do just different things. Like I've got a Splatoon squirt gun and a giant plastic Mario action figure that's like it's like the Mario to your Link that you have back there.
Oh, is that the one that like talks and stuff?
No, I don't think so. I've got the fire suit Mario from the new Super Mario Brothers series. The white hat, white shirt, with red overalls. But it's kind of my deal now.
That's great, man. I liked a good guide back in the day, but Nintendo Power, I had a subscription to Nintendo Power, and so I think I was more into like reading that cover to cover and just soaking in every piece of gaming news that was happening and getting excited for stuff that would or maybe wouldn't come out. Like this week I tweeted about, I was issue 125 of Nintendo Power. It was an N64 era issue. Man, what's on the cover? I forget what's on the cover. Anyway, in the back of the magazine, they always have like Japan Watch, where they talk about stuff that's happening in Japan that might come here, Space World, that kind of thing. Yeah. And they talk about Earthbound 64. They talk about Mother 3.
There you go.
And they called it Mother 3, Earthbound 64. And that never saw the light of day. So I posted a picture. Yeah, issue 125.
Yeah, that would have had Pokemon Yellow on the front.
That's what it is, Pokemon Yellow. And look at the back of that magazine and read the little blurb. I tweeted it, but it is really funny. Like, just they were like, "There's no word on a U.S. release yet, but we're hoping." And it's like, yeah, no, sorry, never, ever, ever.
Yep. Still, crazy. This is 25 years later, or 30 years later, or
nothing.
20 years, 20 years later, still no Mother 3.
But that's the kind of stuff I would pore over as a kid and like super excited about. Yeah. There's even a mention of Super Mario RPG 2, which became Paper Mario. So in that same issue. So that would probably be it for me, is action figures and magazines. And then, so that answers that question. The community got into this whole question thing too, and it was pretty fun. Flightsy in our Discord asks, what do you think about the tendency for reviewers to score games out of 10 and the question of objectivity in video game reviews? This is an interesting question, and I think that Jason later in our Discord kind of cleared up a little bit of what he's talking about, which is that numbers, a number grading system can feel very subjective, right? Because there's no reference. There's no established like number that means this is the median, right? Like this is the average score.
Some people do. Like as far as the number scale goes, as long as they don't I don't like the real complicated where you start getting into the points, like
decimals. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I'm not like
that's
that.
ridiculous. Like IGN
I'll
used
go
to
0.5. I'll give you 0.5. 0.5s are fine, but yeah.
But IGN does a good job today at saying that this number means this particular thing. Like
that's true.
They're going to tell you a 7 is a good game, an 8 is a great game, 9 is like fantastic, and 10 is pretty much perfect. So they don't give out too many 10s.
The word they use for 10 is masterpiece. Because like,
Or
what
a
does perfect
masterpiece,
even
yes.
mean? Right. It's like, this game is like
exactly.
genre defining, right? It's like so good. Like Breath of the Wild.
Now, I don't know that they do so well at defining anything below a 7. So, like, I don't know. 6 is okay, I guess, and like 5 is average or median.
Well,
and
you'd
then
think.
What would 4 be? Trash, and then garbage, and then I don't know that they have those descriptions for the numbers below, and
Right?
how often do they actually give games those scores? So,
And they actually
I
had a
kinda see what
discussion.
Flightsy's getting at.
Right. They actually had a discussion on I think it was GameScoop a while ago, but I remember it, where they were talking about how back in the day they used to give way more low scores because they would review almost everything. Now they don't review every game. They only really review what they think are going to get page views, right? Which are games that are going to be popular, which are games that are already have money behind them that are probably going to be fine anyway. So the average has gone way up since then. And that's what I think Fleiss talking about, where it's like, yeah, but if I read a review from 20 years ago and it says a game was an 8, when today's standards that game should have been like a 10, that throws me off like crazy. You know what I mean? And so the alternative to that is a letter grade system: F, D minus, D plus, A minus, that kind of thing. Because the established methodology there is that a C is the average, right? Like a C game is like, cool, this is like a pretty good game. It's not amazing, didn't win any awards, but it is solid and it's a C, right? And then you can go up or down depending on what's good or bad about the game. And we all kind of have that kind of been established. So that, what do you think about that?
I don't know that that really solves the problem, because you could technically do that with the number system and say that a 5 is a C. And
sure, you
if
could.
if they reestablish the number system, to me, I really wonder if, I mean, a lot of it is what you said. You only do certain game reviews because, let's face it, there's 20 million times more games nowadays than there used to be whenever you relied on a system like this to review games. So I don't know that if it's that a reviewer is scared to do a review that's a 5, or if, like you said, there's the majority of games that are being reviewed are usually higher profile games that are probably not going to see a 5.
No way.
Because then again, how many people are really interested in reading about a game that has the potential to be a 5?
Well, unless it's something that's like clickbaity, right? Like they gave the Switch version of FIFA, some FIFA game. They gave the Switch version a 2 or a 1
or 2
because they're selling it for $60, and it was pretty much the exact same game as last year. So they were like, "This is crap. We're giving this a 2." Right? That happens, but that's more of a statement. That's not really meant to qualify for like an actual score of how good the game is.
That's what I think. I think that to me, I mean, this is opinion, the solution would be to better define the grading system beforehand, so that you don't have to like I don't think that necessarily changing the values is going to do anything, because there's really no difference between ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It's all in how you define the value and getting a reviewer that's willing to score games at the appropriate value. So I mean, how many times do you see? Game reviews are always going to be something that's going to be a issue to really lock onto, and I think
they're always going to be subjective because the reviewer. Sure.
Well, and I think that a similar question was answered on Nintendo Dads not too long ago, and I believe it was Marty said it best. Or no, it wasn't Marty. It was Tim. To me, and I agree with Tim, a lot of times the best thing to do with reviews is to find somebody that that kind of reviews how you review games, to kind of give yourself a compass on how to go by this. If you look at some review sites and you start noticing that they're reviewing games totally opposite how you think, like, you know, they rate something a 9, you play it and you think it's more of a 7 or a 6, you probably don't want to go by that person's review anymore. So it's all about finding good reviews by people that have like mindsets to you.
That's
and
good.
The good thing about today is you have the internet, and there's millions of people that are doing reviews. So
all the YouTubers.
all the YouTubers. Find somebody that you agree with. You know, somebody that likes the same kind of games you do and the same, you know, mechanics and music and things like that. It's pretty easy to find somebody and attach to their way of reviewing, and I think that is the best way to do it.
It's really good.
But again,
I was gonna say my only problem with saying like, well, just all you have to do is establish what the median is that everybody has a different median. Everybody giving the game a review, they're not all gonna follow the same established thing, right? So it has to be something that outside of the realm of gaming that has already been established, like a letter grade system. But your comment about, okay, you need to find someone who reviewed the game whose opinions you agree with so that you know whether this kind of person likes this kind of game, that makes the most sense to me for sure.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
But I love when they do these big review dumps of all the sites, and they're like, look, these sites gave these reviews, and then they look at them, and they're just like the most recent with Bowser's Fury, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody gave this thing like 8s and 9s, and then IGN's like,
like on Metacritic?
Yeah, or on Metacritic. Yeah, Metacritic is the worst. But to me, if you were to take and average out these other sites' reviews and found the average that they gave to a game, you know, over a period of time, versus somebody like IGN who probably reviews the most games out of anybody in the range of review scores that they give out to games. So a 7 might not be that far off from an 8 to these other places, because a lot of them are like what you said, they review just the top tier games that are never going to be below a 7. That's
very true.
So I don't know, you start to get it with reviews, and anytime you score something, you start getting into statistics, and it's a very, like, it can become a very spreadsheet deal to look into. So that's why I try to take myself away from that and find a handful of people that I like to read their reviews, you know, actually read the reviews. And because, I mean, there's a lot of people that just look at the score, they don't even go into the review. They're just like, oh wow, this person gave this a 9, it has to be good. Well, you don't even know why they gave it a 9. When
I was reviewing indie games for the Nintendo dads, I didn't give it a score, and they were pretty loose about their review policies. So they didn't mind. They were just like, yeah, just give us a good, you know, play the game, let us know what you think, whatever. And I did little videos. I think I did it once, and I was like, this feels weird. I'm not going to give it a score. It just kind of feels like I'm making some kind of definition about the entirety of the game when it's so much more deep than that. So I think review scores are broken in general, but they're not going away. So you kind of have to land somewhere.
And I don't like doing game reviews, and I don't. That's why any of the content that I produce is just, I like doing a short playthrough of a section of the game, and then give my thoughts on how I think that it's put together, what I like about it, what I don't. Yeah. And then if somebody wants to take what I did and kind of score a game themselves, that's fine. But I kind of just like to throw it out there and say what I think about it. I'm not going to score anything, because I myself know that all these scores are so hard to put together and pinpoint that I don't even want to try it. So
exactly.
I just want to play games.
Yeah, right. Like, I just want to play games. It's the adult paradox.
Yes,
I can buy all the games, just can't play any of them.
Can't play them.
Well, I want to thank Eric and Flightsy for those questions. If you have a question for us, you can give it to me on Twitter at Retrologic.games. Just do that. Well, John, that just about wraps up the whole show for today. Kind of an interesting little show, some very fun discussions. I wish Adam could have made it, but I'm glad that he is safe. I hope his power comes back on soon. We're safe. We're fine. All my kids are fine. We have food. So don't worry about us. I hope that wherever you are listening to this, you are somewhere warm and safe. And, just everybody stay safe out there because it is crazy. Cray cray, as we say.
Well, you'll have to tell your brother that we missed him, or that I missed him. Looking forward to getting to talk to him. He's always
great to have on the show, and I'm not just saying that because he's family, because he's also kind of a jerk sometimes, but he's great to have on the show.
That's just family. That's brothers.
Totally.
That happens.
Totally. We were even supposed to hang out and do like a 2-player stream. Anyway. Let's do this outro here, huh? So thank you for listening to the Retrologic podcast. We are proudly part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. And if you like what you hear, you can check me out on Twitter at Retrologic.games. You're also welcome to jump into our friendly and 100% non-toxic Discord community where we're doing weekly giveaways and free wallpapers, just all kinds of cool stuff going on there. The link to that Discord, it's free to get in. You can come in, say hi. The link to that is in my Twitter bio. So follow me on Twitter and then hit that Discord link. You can also find everything that Retrologic has to offer, including the store and the Discord and the podcast and the Twitter things at the website Retrologic.games. So, again, John, thanks again for being so awesome. And I will see y'all guys next week.
Bye now.
Oh, actually, quick update.
Oh.
I'm going on a trip next week. So the date that things happen might be a little weird, but I am going to try really hard to get an episode out next week. Just going to give you guys that little update. I will let y'all know. So, that's it. Peace out.
Bye for real now.